Welcome to Sideline Theory, NFL Mock Draft,
Part 2.
Rendition 1, Part 2, taking you through the back half of the first round. And can we stop selecting New York Jets?
Please, bro. No more Jets.
Please
And
bless us.
Where's your Falcons at in this pick?
They actually selected 13, and we're doing something really, really, really gracious. And we went, hey, the Rams are so close to winning a Super Bowl. Take our pick.
You know what's wild? The Falcons beat the Rams last year. That's crazy.
Take our pick. Take our pick.
I like our mock, bro. And I like, again, going to put on a T-shirt, protection brings production.
That is good. Did you chat GPT that, or that's all you?
That's straight off the dome, baby. Straight off the dome.
I agree with you. T-shirt it. Put it on a T-shirt.
I am, again, this mock is not what we think is going to happen. It is what we would do with the picks. People can come at us in the comments. Again, big Jets guy.
Yep.
And so I'm ready, man. I'm ready to keep going.
Boom. We'll jump in. Pick number 17.
Dun, 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 dun.
We have your Detroit Lions selecting Caden Proctor out of Alabama. 6'7", 352-pound offensive tackle. NFL comp is Trent Brown.
Oh, I thought his NFL comp was like Randy Moss because he's going to play receiver, right?
He's going to part-time play. It's kind of a Travis Hunter situation.
It's kind of
that they've really been breaking down if he's going to play offensive skill or offensive line. We'll see what happens and where they draft him. But gave up 2 sacks, 19 pressures in 2025. Massive frame, dominant run blocker, elite raw power, improving pass sets, gifted receiver.
Here's the thing with him, man. Here's the thing with the Lions specifically. They have so many guys that are about to come up eligible because they're such a young team. You got to go O-line in this situation because he will be a cheaper asset as you're having to make decisions later on.
Fair. And
then just with them, they have weapons. They have skill guys everywhere. They have Jahmyr Gibbs, who we think is the top 3 running back in the National Football League. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who we're going to do our wide receiver list here coming up soon. And then on the defense, Deion Branch. You have Aiden if he can stay healthy. So I can see them taking another edge. People are talking about pairing them with an edge rusher. I just think, again, you will not go wrong taking high-level offensive linemen.
Yeah, so, and if you take Caden Proctor, you could still trade for Max Crosby. Still out there.
No, as the commenter said, moron.
All right, moving to the next pick, we've got number 18, the Minnesota Vikings, selecting
Harrison Smith Jr.
Dylan Tyneman out of Oregon, 6 foot 201, coming off a year with 44 tackles, a sack, and 2 picks. NFL comp, I've got Jesse Bates.
Bro, Harrison Smith, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. He feels like a little bit better athlete than Harrison Smith. But yeah, I mean,
I
get the temptation.
Another scenario of when we're looking at Minnesota, you and I both said safety. And so we're just taking the highest available safety that people have graded here. Again, Kevin O'Connell, Kyler, you got the weapons all over defense. On offense, on defense, you have Flores pairing a elite-minded and intangible-led Dylan on that roster. I think is going to be very beneficial.
Yeah, completely agree. Ball hawking safety, rangy and deep coverage, pretty consistent throughout the year, and adding him to a mix of an already pretty good unit in Minnesota. I think both of us agree it's just going to come down to quarterback play for them. Regardless of who's selected here, considering we went defense. Moving to the next pick, we've got number 19.
I am super excited for you to pronounce
Carolina Panthers.
Pronounce this name, bro.
Olavavega Loene, Penn State. 6'4", 320-pound offensive tackle. Coming off of a year, we gave up 0 sacks and only 4 pressures. So
Jeez.
Elite from that standpoint. NFL comp, Elijah Vera Tucker. I've got strong anchor, tone setter up front, a mauler in the run game, very powerful offensive lineman here, and a really good fit for Carolina, who's starting to put pieces together in that very
as an
winnable
NFC South guy,
South
you're a Falcons guy. Both are New Orleans and Carolina picks. I really love them. They might low-key be my favorite picks so far.
The problem for the Falcons here is that those teams have quarterbacks. so you can build it the right way now.
You have a top 10 quarterback, Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Well, and you have two of them. You have Tua and Penix.
Yeah, and I think we're going to try to re-sign Kirk Cousins again.
I love this pick for Carolina. Protection will bring production. You have gifted guys. Tet McMillan, people were hesitant on him, thinking that he might like volleyball more than football. And doing really well. My wife fell in love with Carolina watching them in the wild card against the Rams. They were right there. I think being able to add more protection for Bryce, I am very curious about Carolina this upcoming year. I love this pick for them. Please go O-line. Take the best available guy. You said he didn't allow a sack last year for a terrible Penn State team?
That's true.
That's a solid pick.
Yep. Moving to number 20, we've got Dallas selecting, I could say this one much more easily, C.J. Allen out of Georgia. 6'1", 230-pound linebacker, coming off a year with 88 tackles, 4 sacks, 6 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles. NFL comp, we just kept it simple. Roquan Smith, another Georgia linebacker. Very rangy, elite athleticism, pretty good in coverage, high motor guy, great interviewer, and great demeanor. Really loved all the coverage when they were making the playoff run, but even SEC championship media stuff, where this guy's well-spoken, seems very, very intelligent. So you pair that with his athletic ability, and I think the Dallas gets a steal here.
Yeah, I think so too. Are you okay with them going back-to-back defense? Because we have them taking.
Man, I think Dallas is set on offense. You got to maximize what you can this year with that team, considering Pickens is tagged, and I don't know if they're going to do it again. You've got 2 guys on the edge on offense that are incredible. You've got Dak Prescott. You've got really whoever you want to plug in at running back, but you got a guy coming off a 1,000-yard season. I think you stock up on defense and see if you can figure that out.
I think you're getting the bones of a great team, a great defense. You take a top corner in McCoy, and then you go one of the top available linebackers in Allen to pair with. I'm pretty sure they signed Logan Wilson. They have a Williams brother. They signed another Allen or Rashawn Gary on the outside. So you have the bones of a really great defense coming together. I like this pick a lot for Dallas. We put defenses in need, and so we just went best available in that position. And C.J. Allen coming out of that Kirby Smart system is going to have a dog mentality, for lack of a better word. And I think Dallas giving Dak the opportunity to win some games 17-16 is going to be highly beneficial for them. They're in a win now. They are win now because obviously the owner's not getting any younger, Jerry Jones, and then Dak is high priced with. I think Dak is the top paid quarterback again this year. It might be 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And so they have to win now, and I like the pick going to defense.
Yeah, and to your point, right, a lot of these Georgia defenders, pretty simple and easy translation. Even when guys don't have the measurables, like the Eagles picks from a few years ago, these guys are now, key pieces to the defenses that they're on. So like that pick for Dallas. Next pick.
This next pick is Brandon Special.
Woo! Pick number 21, your Pittsburgh Steelers select Ty Simpson, Alabama. 6'1", 211-pound quarterback, being selected 20 picks too late.
Well, he was down 20 pounds in the playoffs.
Coming off a 2025 season, 3,500 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 5 picks. Not a great comp for me. Ryan Tannehill. I do think his offensive line play really crumbled in front of him.
Ryan Tannehill was number 1 seed Tennessee Titans, man.
That's fair. But Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh is a very spoiled place. I'll start with that. So the fact of the matter is, while this guy in any other year in any other situation may not warrant the 21st pick, fully aware of that. He's a smaller guy who did struggle down the stretch. A lot of that is not his doing, in my opinion. However, beggars can't be choosers. And we talk about guys that are places that have good defensive units that are just hanging out. And this is one of those places. And I think a guy like Ty Simpson, if you do bring Aaron Rodgers back for another season, can really digest all of that mentorship and potentially be a year 2 starter that can help the ceiling of your team.
How many wins are the Steelers going to get this year? You have the Browns winning that division.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
You like
what
the
their
Bengals.
what their over under was.
Probably 8.5.
Yeah, I think I had them. I think I had them over still. I think it'll be a 9-win team, strictly based on the defense that they can play, and the fact that I think Rico Dowdle can punish some other defenses enough for them to prevail in the end, similar to how he did in Carolina.
Is this pick not a little Kenny Pickett-esque? What's the difference between Ty and Kenny in this situation?
Expectations. Kenny Pickett was touted as, he was at least in conversations that year of he's the guy.
But he was the only quarterback taken in the first round, I believe.
Yeah, so I think, you've got a good point. The thing with quarterbacks, we can go through the list, right, for the last 10, 15, 20, forever, of guys who were taken in the top 3 and never did anything. And I think you just got to potentially roll the dice here, because you're not going to be bad enough, in my opinion, regardless of whoever starts at quarterback, even if it's Will Howard, to be in a prime spot next year to take a guy. So, and you've already got teams coming out and saying they're lining up for 2027 to take a guy at quarterback. So I think you could potentially, if you take the route of we're not taking the guy now, who, if you look at the first half of that season last year, is a bona fide first-round pick, if you don't take the guy now, you could also potentially miss on it next year because you're going to win too many games. So I think it's worth taking the shot, rolling the dice, and seeing if you can take a guy who is from a very traditional, powerful program in Alabama, is a winner, great energy guy. The intangibles, again, for quarterback are very important to me. When you put a guy like this guy up to Dante Moore, they just seem worlds difference about how they are as teammates. That could be very wrong, but when Dante Moore throws a pick 6 the first play and just doesn't play well down the stretch, he kind of seems like it is what it is. Ty Simpson's showing emotion. It makes him mad. He's trying to figure things out. He's hyping guys up on the sideline. So for me, this is kind of a what do you have to lose pick. I don't know who else you're going to take in the spot that's really going to transform either of the units on the team in the aspect of wins and losses, as Ty Simpson could if he does pan out.
It's interesting just because the Steelers are such a traditionally well thought of institution, but man, we just are trying to be above 500. Tomlin era is that transferring over. I do think McCarthy has a great track record with quarterbacks, so I could see if he is high on Ty, him taking there and sitting, because you are in agreement that Aaron's coming back. Aaron will be there another year. I do think Aaron would have retired by now if he was going to retire.
I agree, and I think they need him to come back because no one is ready to take that over right now.
It's okay, and again, they got Michael Pittman. I think that's a really good receiving core. DK, Pittman, and we'll see. Pittsburgh taking Ty Simpson.
I would
imagine if
I would say
in Pittsburgh they draft Ty Simpson. I wonder, is the reaction just shock? Because no one has them taking Ty Simpson. Is it shock? Is it happy? Is it?
Oh, no one's going to be happy in Pittsburgh, so that's out the window. I'm going to say something. People may think I'm crazy. If you put Ty Simpson on Indiana's roster last year, I'm not so sure the result isn't different. The offensive line play for Alabama the second half of the year, awful.
Well,
some of the worst offensive line play I've ever seen.
One of their offensive line going 16th overall.
Well, a lot of that's projection and ceiling and potential, right? But they did not play well as a unit the second half of the year. So,
Ty, does the lack of starts scare you, or is that why he's sitting the whole first year?
I think it is what it is. But yeah, the ideal situation is that he's not starting, he's sitting, and I think he's got the right temperament to actually benefit from sitting, whereas some of these other guys just don't. Mendoza is another guy I think could benefit from sitting, just the way that their demeanor is, the way they carry themselves. But I think sitting him behind Aaron Rodgers, it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Next pick, we've got number 22, the Chargers, selecting Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M, 6'2", 253-pound edge, coming off a year with 12 sacks, 8 tackles for losses, and a forced fumble. NFL comp is Uchenna Nwosu. Explosive edge, very quick first step, disruptive in the backfield unless he's playing Miami. Very high motor guy, and is doing it against some of the best tackles in the country in the conference that he's in. And I think the Chargers really benefit here. Again, it's another team that we feel has the pieces on offense to make a run and figure it out. They need some guys on that defense to help keep them in some games they don't have to score 30 to win it.
Yeah, in any other scenario, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year would be going much higher. And so I think this is a solid pick for them in the 20s here. They have, if Slater and, who's the other tackle that got hurt? Alt. If Joe Alt and Slater don't get hurt, I mean, the issue, and again, with Herbert's lack of being able to perform in the playoffs, you're going to need defensive pieces that can hold the team to 3 points or fewer.
Yep.
And so I like the pick. I think that he is a high upside due to the production that he had in the Southeastern Conference in college at A&M. So I love the pick.
Would this be the lowest a Defensive Player of the Year for that conference went, other than Michael Sam? Food for thought. Next pick, we've got Philadelphia coming in with selecting Brandon Cisse out of South Carolina, 6', 189-pound quarterback, coming off a year with 27 tackles, a pick, and a forced fumble. The NFL comp that I had for this guy is Trent McDuffie.
Okay.
I'll admit, didn't watch a ton of South Carolina this year.
Gamecock country, baby.
But this guy's long, versatile. He's athletic. He's the right size. I think there's a lot there just from a raw athletic ability standpoint that Philadelphia seems to be able to capitalize on and turn into consistent players. And
Philadelphia is one of these teams that have so many guys. Like, they are one of the hardest teams to project because the sheer talent that's on the roster, that's an undefeated team. And they're young and versatile and athletic and lengthy. But gosh, the reports coming out about the hit job on Jalen Hurts is crazy. Yeah. And now, again, he might have done it to himself. But it's just, where do you go here? You have the receivers. You have the tight ends. You have O linemen. You have D linemen. You have linebackers. You have corners. Even as we're doing this, like, they have multiple great corners
and
already.
Not just regular guys, like elite players all over the place.
And so I understand that people are like, dude, I just tell me a position that they don't. And like, I'd be willing to draft it there. And if you're like, oh, it's quarterback, well, I guess Ty Simpson went a couple spots earlier. This should take Ty. So they're one of the craziest teams to me. I can't peg them because I don't know what's the issue.
What happens if they let go of AJ and he's not the issue? Does this just fall apart?
I mean, homie's fired. Sirianni has to go. Like, has to. The stuff coming out is wild for a team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago and everyone thought was going to be. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl 4 years ago, started 10-1.
And not just in it, like
should have. I mean, yeah. Jalen played super well in that Super Bowl.
Yep.
They started 10-1 the next year, then fell apart. Won the Super Bowl the next year, and then had
pretty dominantly
a crazy year last year. Yeah. And so I just don't know what you do. We just took a great player that was available.
Yeah.
Comments, you can let us take anybody. Eagles can have anybody. Like, to me, the Eagles need to draft maybe a head coach. Like, what if they could draft who's the homie that won it for Indiana? Why am I blanking on his name?
Signetti.
Well, yeah, we're drafting Signetti.
Bring Signetti to
like,
Philly.
What the heck, man? I don't think they need a guy. Who do they need?
Yeah. They maybe need some less guys.
Or they need a freaking Craig Rochelle. They need a pastor in there. I don't know. Who knows?
I will say that's the key example of how chemistry really, really, really matters in football.
Yeah.
You know, you can overcome it in some other sports where there are less guys and you can be more impactful per the player. But in the NFL and college and high school, the chemistry of your football team matters.
Yeah. Well, draft
to that
Signetti,
exact-
Philadelphia.
To that exact point.
Even though, bro, imagine him. I'm sure all these dudes are wearing gold cleats.
Not anymore.
Good luck.
Not anymore. They're all traded. Day 2. Pick number 24, we've got the Cleveland Browns.
Love this pick. I actually really like
pulling
this
the
pick.
trigger on Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana. 6 foot, 199-pound receiver coming off of a season with 69 receptions, 937 yards receiving, and 13 touchdowns. NFL comp is Michael Pittman Jr. is who I have here.
Solid. I think it's a great pick. Again, we have offensive linemen going to the Browns earlier in Fanu.
Yep.
And so being able to pair a big body receiver for Shedeur with Judkins, you're setting with, again, Todd Monken as the head coach now, you're really setting it up to where if you're right, I mean, your Browns, I mean, this is a solid pick. Shedeur, Fanu, Omar Cooper, Judkins. They have the tight end that I really like him. I think he was at Bowling Green or something. Gosh, I forget his name, but he was great. He's a great, super solid possession receiver, but he's at tight end. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, it's going to kill me because we did this last time too. We can't figure out his name. Harold Fannin Jr.
There you go.
Holy cow.
Again, and with that defense, I do, again, them losing the coordinator who left, the D coordinator. Why am I tripping on his name? See commenters.
Oh, the guy that
We're not
really
geniuses.
hates that he didn't get the head coaching
Yes,
job.
and so he dipped out.
Schwartz.
There you go.
Yep. Which has he?
No, he hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Okay.
He'll probably take over. I mean,
so I guess we'll really figure out how good he was. I mean, the reports around the building, the players all loved him.
mm-hmm.
So I guess you'll see if the defense falls off a cliff.
With the defense you have, again, you should have a solid defense. I like them going offense here. I think it's a great pick for them.
Yep, completely agree. You got to add as much as you can to the offensive side of things, so that
to make informed decisions.
Yeah, so that you can make your quarterback comfortable, but also so you can potentially get rid of people if they don't want to be there, right? So you got to bring as much talent as you can in to figure that out, to see if that's what's going to work. I think you've got a right foundation, at least defensively, minus the coordinator, to try to have the luxury of taking offense to get a real true evaluation of the quarterbacks that you're going to be playing, if that's Shedeur or if that's multiple guys this year based on draft capital they've spent the last couple of years.
Go for it.
All right, next pick here we have the Chicago Bears selecting Peter Woods, D tackle out of Clemson, 6'2", 298 pounds, 2 sacks, 9 tackles for losses last year. NFL comp is Quinnen Williams.
I'll start. I mean, I am very high on the Bears at this moment in time. If you ask me, I have the Bears winning the Super Bowl. I think that they have an explosive offense. I think that they're making right chemistry decisions. Talking about chemistry decisions, allowing DJ Moore to walk. Not saying he was bad for the team, but he necessarily wasn't as bought in as could be. And so I like the decisions that the team is making. And again, I think you have the right protection and production on offense. Help Caleb not have to win games 45-40 or last minute. Like, add another stalwart on the defensive line, get a big body, can't have enough of them. I really like Chicago adding him for the interior line and making it a playoff push.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think if this guy can have one impact play for each tattoo he has, he's going to be incredible. But
is it inked up?
Similar to, I mean, everyone is nowadays, but similar to Georgia, right? The Clemson program, and I know they haven't been great as of late, but specifically the defensive line unit, those are units that are well prepared to come into the NFL and perform right away. And I think this spot with Chicago, a team that's already primed to do really well, it gives you a potential playmaker at a spot that can really matter in the playoffs when it's cold and you need someone to make a play. And yeah, this guy's an explosive and powerful guy, disrupts in the both in the run and the passing game, and has potential elite upside for an interior defensive lineman. Next selection here, we've got our Buffalo Bills selecting Caleb Lamu out of Utah, 6'6", 313 pounds, offensive lineman. NFL comp is Taylor Decker. 2025, another guy that allowed 0 sacks and only 8 pressures. Athletic, smooth, strong pass protector, still developing power, but a very large guy. I mean, 6'6", 313. Indicative of the other offensive tackles, right, with their strength development, meaning their true upside or not in the NFL. Another guy that's going to be dependent on how strong he can get. Interestingly enough, we've got 2 Utah offensive tackles in the first round here. And, yeah.
Which Michigan should be happy because hopefully Whittingham's
they'll be able to recruit some others like that
to
in
him.
Michigan.
I like the pick. As much as you can, Josh is going to be able to make lemonade out of avocados. And so just give the man protection. And then on the defensive side, I could this one I could see them going best defensive available player, but it is hard to pass up great offensive lineman, especially for Josh Allen. Help prolong his I'm hearing people are thinking like, oh, he has 3 years left of elite prime. You protect him, that's going to extend. So go online here. Like the pick.
Yeah.
Again, they got DJ Moore in a winnable, not a winnable division with New England there, but you have cakewalks in Miami and the Jets. And if you can split with New England, that's 5-1 in your division, and then be set for a playoff push. So, and then in your new stadium, you'll have to worry about wind. So
that's fair. Yeah, I like the pick here as well. A guy that started all 4 years at Clemson, 54 starts
at Utah, right?
I mean, Utah, and very just smooth. You don't see that so much with guys that large, and I think that definitely a beneficial pick at this spot in the draft for Buffalo, because you're right, they got to figure something out to help Josh, something. And hopefully this will be a step towards that. And
again, it will help with James Cook and the running game, and so I just think it's a great pick for them.
Completely agree. My Clemson aside, I was one ahead on my notes here. Next pick, we have San Francisco selecting Blake Miller out of Clemson. 6'7", 317-pound offensive tackle. 11 pressures allowed, only give up 2 sacks. NFL comp is Mike McGlinchey. This guy, very experienced, 4-year starter at Clemson, 54 games in total. Great 40-yard dash time at the combine. That's just a joke, Mike. Oh. He did run a 5.04. Very quick, versatile, and a guy out of Clemson. In my estimation, a lot of guys out of Clemson, I will say, lean a little towards finesse to me. I don't love that. It's not a typical Georgia, Alabama prototype where those guys are really maulers, and it's like we can see if we figure out pass pro. But it's hard to argue with 54 college starts at offensive line, and he's got great hair. So I like the pick for San Francisco.
This is our 7th offensive lineman in the first round. This is our last offensive lineman, and my thing to that is I'm sorry that we like winning. Like I just think it is a solid thing to do to take your line. It's going to help Christian McCaffrey's health. It's going to help Brock Purdy's health. It's going to be able to prolong Trent Williams isn't going to have to do everything. Like, it's just going to provide so much benefit for the offense. You just brought in Mike Evans. The defense is going to be solid. Even though you are losing the D coordinator's Tennessee Titans head coach, Saleh is now gone, so the defense could take a step back. But you have people – I could see people saying, hey, take a best defensive player available. But I think you have so many guys. You don't need production. Help with the protection. Again, I'll say it 1,000 times. I just know it to be true. Seattle took their starting 5 for a Super Bowl champion. They drafted it over the last 4 years. And so take the offensive lineman, swallow. I know it's not sexy, But gosh, it's how you build teams.
What they really should do, though, is they should trade for a new practice facility location. That's what
Or
they
an
should
indoor one where they have to quarantine to go into.
to get away from
The
that
issue
power
is I've
plant.
heard from people who know what I've heard is Shanahan does not like drafting offensive linemen. And who am I to say Shanahan's philosophy is wrong, even though he did blow a 28-3 lead as the Falcons offensive coordinator?
Kyle. Thank you.
And so, but I just
Your dad would have never. Yeah, with you. I think it's a great pick for them. They've got to go offensive line to protect the assets they have behind them.
and they don't need it. This next team, we did take in my opinion, we're reaching on a weapon
On a need.
because they need it.
Yeah, next pick we have here is Houston taking Casey Concepcion.
A lot of
From
people have
Texas
them going
A&M.
defense. I understand quadrupling down
The
on
rich get richer.
but like I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand it. But it's like take the explosive guy, like give CJ another weapon. Let's really see.
Yeah. 6 foot, 196, coming off a year, 61 receptions, 919 yards, and 9 touchdowns. NFL comp I had was Deebo Samuel. Very
Ooh.
versatile, very elite with quickness, electric weapon, yards after catch threat. This is a guy who, to your point, you plug him into an offense where Stroud needs some help without having to create the entire thing, because when he presses, he throws picks. And he doesn't just throw one pick, he throws a lot of picks.
Or he just drops the ball. He can't.
That's fair.
KC is not as physical as Debo, nowhere near.
Yep.
Definitely KC's a little bit more of a gadget. I think a good comp for him is the guy who went to Kansas City in Texas.
Worthy?
I think he's not as tall as him, but like definitely a lot more of like a scat backy type. Debo to me is a very physical presence.
Yeah, that's fair. I lean more into the versatile part,
Yeah.
right, where you can kind of put him anywhere on the field. But yeah,
But Debo's running you the frick over.
Completely agree.
I just think they need explosion. Your defense is going to hold people to 10 points. Can you get to 13?
Fair. Next pick, Kansas City. We have selecting Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. 6'3", 241-pound tight end. Coming off a season where he had 51 catches for 560 yards and 8 touchdowns. NFL comp is Evan Ingram.
A lot of people have him. In all likelihood, he's not going to be there. A lot of people have him super high. I think it's an overdraft. I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. But if he's there, what an awesome pick for Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like what?
100%.
To me, all the teams ahead of him do not need him. Like it's just I think Philadelphia taking him.
Tight end is one of those positions.
Where it's like
it's a luxury pick.
You don't need it. Like any of these teams above him, I don't love him as much. At Carolina, I'd take the offensive lineman if you're at Carolina. The Chargers, I love them going defense there. It's like a lot of people have him going higher. If he does, whatever. I was not a Kyle Pitts guy.
Fair.
And it's like it is a luxury position. I think that it is a awesome pick at, what is that, 28, 29? 28?
29 value
29.
pick for the Kansas City Chiefs.
What an awesome pick for them.
I agree with you. Kyle Pitts specifically, that example is very eye-opening. How dominant Kyle Pitts was. My interpretation of his translation to the NFL is worlds different than what he is. I think we can chalk some of that up to inconsistent quarterback play. But you can also chalk some of that up to second-level defenders in the NFL are just elite.
Yes.
So in college, when you're running over the top of linebackers who aren't going to play on Sundays, it's a lot different than when you've got guys who can keep pace with you.
And I will say Sadiq is different, and I think he's a little more stout than Kyle. Kyle's a little bigger. Another thing of talking about the Sunny South thing, height isn't necessarily the best thing in the NFL because those elite skill guys can get their hands under your pads. I do think Sadiq is going to be a valuable pick, but I do think he is one of the scariest overdrafts.
That's fair. I think to that point, though, you could also make a case that he would be the most productive based on where he's landing in this mock, considering they're not going to ask him to block anyone. Right?
100%.
And again, you take the model,
which is why you're like, why not Houston?
Mentor.
But if he's on the field, CJ's getting wrecked still. So it's like you can't. Yeah. Or he could go to San Fran, but it's like I just don't think you need him at San Fran.
That's fair.
And so I like
luxury
him here.
pick, but I like Kansas City taking him there.
Oh, dude,
Next
Kansas,
selection.
they would run to the podium to
Off
take
the
Sadiq
board,
here.
we've got Miami selecting Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo, 6'4", 201-pound defensive back. NFL comp is Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, the guy from Notre Dame a few years ago. Versatile hybrid role, flashes in coverage, pressure packages. Guy had 77 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 2 picks. Just the sheer size of that is intriguing in the first round, at the bottom of the first round. To grab him, see what he can do. I think that's kind of what you're seeing here. Is like, let's see if we can draft some guys that pan out.
Well, a lot of people
we're
have
not
this
gonna
guy
win a
going
ton of
top
games.
15.
Yeah.
And so we don't have him going as high because, again, we valued offensive lineman and edge rusher pretty high in the draft. And so I think that this is a good pick for the future. They're bringing in is it Haley, right?
Todd Haley.
Todd Haley's is it Todd Haley?
Oh,
No.
we'll double check.
Something. Hey,
I could care less.
He's
about
the Boston
anything with
College
the
head coach.
Dolphins.
You know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure he was the Boston. He's from Boston College, right?
Oh, Jeff Hafley.
Jeff Hafley. There you go. Hafley. Wasn't he at Boston College before? I think he might have recruited KC Concepcion because I think Concepcion was at Boston College
Let's check his
before. So
let's
I
check
might
his
be
career.
100% wrong there, but I like the pick for Miami. I think that he's going to be a pretty versatile defensive weapon. And again, if I'm Miami, I'm planning for 2-3 years down the road. So I like the pick.
Yeah, I'm with you. Next pick we have here, pick
Two
number
more.
31. Your New England Patriots selecting Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, 6'2", 326-pound defensive tackle. I just realized I didn't even comp this guy. But coming off a year, he had 3 sacks, 8 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles.
I think he's a Williams brother. Who's the interior Williams? Leonard? No, Leonard's
Quinnen.
Quinnen. I think it's Quinnen.
Yeah, I think you can make the case there.
I think it's just a great variable pick. I think they have the guy from Philadelphia.
It always seems that New England's selecting a D tackle from pick 30 to 32.
And again, they have a very tough schedule coming up. This is also under the assumption that they're trading for A.J. Brown in July or June.
Yep.
And so I don't think they need offense. I don't think they need O-line. I don't think they need running back. I don't think they need DB. I think this is a great pick. And again, they have a very tough schedule this coming year. What's going to help that is being able to dominate in the trenches. I really like this Caden McDonald pick. I think he has a high upside in the league and can be very violent, be able to play off of the different people that they have in that system. And I think he is a variable guy.
Completely agree. Massive interior presence, run stuff. He's an anchor, clogs everything up, very physical. It's funny, when I was prepping, I haven't watched that much film on someone since I coached at Reinhardt, of watching Ohio State and breaking down their games pre that Miami matchup. But literally, zero exaggeration, I never saw one snap that this guy moved backwards. Not one snap against anyone. So that alone is enough for me to get on board with him being a productive player in the NFL. But yeah, pretty impressive. We'll see if he continues his eye black. I think he paints his whole face black. But yeah, excited to see him in New England. To your point, I think they've got the other complementary pieces around him for this to really pan out. And our final pick in the mock draft for the Seattle Seahawks, pick number 32, we have Kendrick Falk out of Auburn, 6'6", 276-pound edge. Coming off a year, 29 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 TFLs. NFL comp, Brandon Graham. A lot of that's this guy's not the super elite athlete per se at the edge. Definitely a powerful, power-based, strong at point of contact, developing an interior pass rush. And yeah, Seattle's got to replenish on defense with some of the people that they lost.
Have to. And I think the best place to do it is a longer defensive front. Sam Darnold hopefully is going to be able to provide some stability along the offense with JSN. A lot of people have them taking Price out of Notre Dame here. I don't think that they need a running back, but I for them to repeat, and like you said, with expenses coming up and people that they're losing. You want to get, you have the most valuable, the most important need is quarterback. Second most important need is somebody to go get the opposing team's quarterback. You will not go wrong at 32 taking a top 5 defensive end. So,
and I'll correct myself. Keldrick Falk. Apologies, not Kendrick Falk.
oh, I put Kendrick on the dock,
from
sorry.
Auburn. So yeah, that gets us through our
That's our
32
mock.
picks. That's the second half of this draft. We do have a couple questions we pose to each other, so we want to make this a tad more interesting, and we'll see exactly what directions we go in. But 3 questions. First of which, and I'll pose it to you first, Mike. A trade that you would make or want to see happen to shift the order of the draft.
I am a big Tennessee Titans guy. I do love them taking CeCe Mawinoa. I would be over the moon if they traded next year's first round draft pick and either took David Bailey or Jeremiah Love. I think that they could follow the Houston Texans model. You got your quarterback. You have an unbelievable offensive lineman with CeCe Mawinoa. You have Robert Saleh. You have Dayball. Go after it. Go get it. Go get him. With Cam Ward on his rookie deal. Tennessee, go after it, man. If you're going to – and hopefully that first-round pick for next year is in the 20s because you're doing really well in the AFC South and you make a playoff push. I think that I really want to see Tennessee shake it up and do what their AFC counterpart Houston did, which is trade and go get Will Anderson. So trade, go get David Bailey or Jeremiah Love. After you get CeCe, you got to get CeCe Mawinoa right there if he's available.
Okay, so you made that intriguing, introducing next year's pick. I didn't think of that. You're going to love this.
Go for it.
My trade that I'd like to see, the Titans trading.
Did you go Titans too?
Trading for the Jets' number 2 pick.
To go get Bain.
To go get Arvell Reese.
Oh, heck nah. Over Bain?
I think
you're the one that put Bain at 2.
Listen, the reason you go Arvell Reese there is because you've got the right structure in place with Saleh that maybe you can develop the ceiling that everyone knows is out there compared to a guy like Bain, who I think is a more solid, polished player at this point. But with a guy like Robert Saleh leading the defense, I think his developmental prowess comes into play, and you take a higher upside player in Arvell Reese. But I do like the whole spin it for next year and use that pick instead of the
see if you can get the Jets to trade back or something.
To just get pieces. Because the Titans, I think you and I both agree, from a coaching standpoint, are going to be some of the best in the NFL.
Yes.
From a quarterback standpoint, some of the best in the NFL. If you can just compile pieces quicker,
I can't wait. I can't wait for the world to see Cam Ward with a system in place that is not whatever the heck was going on in Tennessee last year. It was I honestly can't even remember homie's name, who's the head coach. He was that terrible of a head coach, and I am excited to see Cam with Dayball and Saleh there. Some belief, some structure, and again, go get it. Like, I love getting your alignment there. If you go get an edge, that's so funny that we both went Tennessee.
So I want to ask you this question first, and I'm curious. The next question we have here for the end of this mock: who is the reach of this mock draft the way that we've drafted it?
Well, I think the obvious answer is Ty Simpson, Pittsburgh, 21. I think that's a reach. I think you think that that's him almost falling, but I won't go there. I think Mekhi Lemon going to the Jets at 16. I'm not as high on Mekhi. I watched a lot of USC this past year. I do think he's a little slotty, and it's like I've seen a lot of slots not go super high in the draft because I'm a Tom Brady guy. So I've seen the Wes Welkers, the Danny Amendolas, the Julian Edelmans. You don't have to go super high in the draft to be a solid slot receiver. And so I do think that it's a little high for Mekhi.
Fair enough.
And then everyone has him going 13 to the Rams. He's not even going to make it to 16 probably because he's going to get drafted 13th overall because everyone's in love with receivers. I understand it, but I just think that he's not necessarily 13 worthy. I think that the demand, I think the supply is not reaching the demand because like we don't even have Jordan Tyson in our first round, and everyone thinks he's going to go top 20. So
Yeah. So to not bore the audience, because I also had Mekhi Lemon.
did you really?
Yeah.
Bro, we don't talk about
I
this.
am a guy that would take Jordan
That's
Tyson
so
over
funny.
a Mekhi Lemon
That's
on
fun.
the sheer size of those players and the potential upside impact. But I'll give you another reach, and you'll love this one because I'm the one that decided it. Ruben Bain at 2.
Bro,
It's a reach.
I
love Bain at 2 personally because of where he is at developmentally. He's older. I'm a Miami fan. I mean, like, let's put it all on the table. But I think, valid arguments can be made that that's a few picks too high based on the upside. Now, I'll only give you that it's based on the upside, not the current structure of that player and how polished they are compared to a guy like Arvell Reese, because that, in my estimation, is completely a projection pick that you think you can get the most out of them. So I'll go Bain at 2 to keep it different and not put our audience to sleep. Last question. Sleeper of the draft. I think based on some commentary earlier, we are not going to go the same way with this one. Who is your sleeper of this mock draft?
I like Omar Cooper Jr. to the Browns in the 20s. I think that he is going to be a super solid option for Shedeur if we have them also taking offensive linemen early on with Judkins, Todd Monken calling the plays, Myles Garrett on defense. I like Omar Cooper to be a very solid possession receiver. Mike Evans-esque, in my opinion. Nowhere near. Mike is a freak, but I do think that he can have some just consistency that's like, oh, Omar Cooper's gone 6 years straight of 1,000 yards. So
Omar Cooper. Yeah, I can't completely disagree. Obviously, much different size, but does that allow you to get rid of Jerry Jeudy? Because that guy seems miserable. That was the illusion earlier to let's figure out if we can let some of the other guys go. But Jerry Jeudy just seems miserable at that location. So, a guy like Isaiah Bond coming along, a Buford guy, made some plays last year, speedster. You pair him with a guy that's consistent like Omar Cooper Jr., maybe allows you some flexibility at that position. So don't hate that selection. My sleeper of this mock, Kenyon Sadiq.
Ooh.
Only if he goes to Kansas City because of the environment that he'll be in, because of the 1 year, hypothetically, that he'll get to learn from Travis Kelce, who is a much lesser athlete, especially at this point in his career, who can spread some of those tips and tricks to a guy with elite athleticism and maybe open him up a little more. And maybe you see what the production is based on the nuances of the game as opposed to just, I'm more athletic than you, compared to a guy like Kyle Pitts who didn't really have a guy to come be a mentor to him on, this is the way you wiggle, this is the way you turn, this is how you get open. So I think that could pay dividends. And then obviously it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to anyone.
Yeah.
Much less a guy who's got the fastest 40, elite athleticism.
What helps is him going to the system of Andy Reid too.
Fair.
And I think that Kyle Pitts coming in, maybe having to be the guy, the savior, versus going to a Kansas City organization that's going to say, hey, you're a cog. You're an amazing cog, but you're a cog. So
not to mention if you receive, I don't know, if you catch it 50 times for 700 yards, you're a savior based on the production they've gotten out of first round picks in the last 3 years. So that's the mock draft. Let us know how bad we messed that up.
We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. Moral of the story, draft O-linemen. Draft O-linemen.
I mean, I think D-end O-line was, gosh darn, 16 of the 32 picks.
Yep.
So,
because everyone else is just extra. Icing on the cake, if you will. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will catch you next week.